You're listening to Life Unrehearsed with Matt DelVecchio and Stephanie Erickson, tackling the topics that life throws in your way.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Life Unrehearsed. My name is Matt DelVecchio. I specialize in free retirement, home search, and senior transition support. Across from me, I have Stephanie Erickson, social worker and family caregiving expert. Hello, Stephanie.
Hey, Matt. Not a nice day today, huh?
Yes.
It's warm, though, actually.
It is warm, and we have to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm
American, so I forget that there's a Thanksgiving this weekend here, too.
Got to wait a month and a bit for yourself. So, this really is a time to reflect and appreciate what we have and grateful for what we have. And, that's not always the case with everyone. And in our world, Stephanie, we deal a lot with people that are lonely. Senior isolation is a major cause of depression and even premature death. And we're going to try to turn that around today because wait until what you hear today. We've got two gentlemen, pretty good-looking chaps, I must say, in studio with us today, and they've really done a great job putting people put smiles and laughter, even bringing out a little bit of the competitive spirit in people, as they will be talking about Canada's largest bridge club. So that's coming up next.
Yeah, and in the second half, we're going to be talking about living your dream. I'm going to share some news. Matt will talk about your dream, and we have a special guest also to talk about her dream. But we're going to leave that for later.
Can't wait for that as well. All right, let's get right into it.
I'm
going to be very, very proud to introduce Lenny Zelnicker and Michael Efraim, founders of Shakespeare's Elbow Bridge Club, based right in the heart of Côte St. Luc and Canada's largest bridge club. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah, well, thanks for being with us. We'll hit you up right away with what are your thoughts about here's a bridge club and how has that contributed to you tackling the issues of loneliness and maybe senior isolation?
Well, it gives our people 3 hours a day at our club. They come in about 11 o'clock, 11:30. They buy their entry. They have a little bit of a lunch. And afterwards, they socialize during lunch with everybody around them. And afterwards, they start to play, and that's when it gets a little heated sometimes, a little competitive. But otherwise, they have 3 hours of play, and they get 4 hours total of socializing, and then they go home.
And Lenny, for you, do you find that sometimes when the gentlemen enter, because this is men's only, or is it women too?
No,
Okay,
mainly women.
Oh, excellent. So
mainly women.
Mainly women. Okay,
Mind you, more gentlemen are starting to retire a little earlier
that's
now,
good.
And we're getting more men coming in just recently.
And do you find that the reason why these individuals are coming in seeking this is because they'd like to have some more social interaction, or is it because of their love for bridge?
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
And that's what keeps them going. They're motivated.
The challenge cognitively for the game, you mean?
They want to become life masters.
Okay.
And the only way you become a life master is by playing a lot of bridge and winning in tournaments. And they love the competition.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but some of them are also there just for socializing.
Mm-hmm. That's why I would be there.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's during the day, so there's no it's not like a 5 à 7, huh?
No, it's not 5 à 7, but
forget it, I'm not coming.
we get phone calls starting about 7 o'clock in the morning.
I get them at 6:30.
The opposite 5 à 7.
Yeah, exactly.
You're listening to Lenny and Michael, founders of Shakespeare's Elbow Bridge Club. Again, thanks, guys, for joining us. And, we were talking off the air, and some of the comments that you were mentioning, Lenny, about what it actually means to the participants were quite inspiring.
They have to start thinking and focusing on what they're doing, and that keeps them going. The competition is there for them, and they love it. They love it and they hate it at the same time, depending upon the hands and how it comes out for them. But overall, it keeps them going day to day.
You mentioned a story about a woman. How many years did she say she figured she gained just by joining?
10.
Wow.
10 years of life.
The
I'll
sons told us when she passed away that she gained at least 10 years more just because of bridge.
That's so nice. You're listening to Life Unrehearsed on CJAD 800. Stephanie Erickson here with Matt DelVecchio. In studio, we have with us Lenny and Michael from the Shakespeare's Elbow Bridge Club. I'm curious, you guys, this competition piece that you're talking about, like, are we talking fist to cuffs arguments, or what are we talking about?
No, we're just, it's more of a social
scoring.
argument.
Scoring, okay.
Yeah.
It's in the scoring. And the competition is there. Trust me, it's there.
So, like, people are getting mad at each other and that kind of thing, or just mad with themselves?
It happens.
It does happen?
It's
okay.
a partnership game.
It happens.
Okay.
A pair to play against another pair. So there's 4 people interacting. And sometimes when things don't go your way, you get angry. Usually not at the opponents, but at your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or your partner gets angry with you. So it's pretty tense out there sometimes.
That's nice to hear. It's a partnership game. I mean, I really know nothing about bridge, but that also brings a nice piece, because are these partners, are they able to form friendships that then they take outside of the bridge club?
What happens quite often, and Mike can back me on this, is when one of our players passes on, quite often we lose her partner.
Oh.
They just can't see themselves playing with other people. Not all, but some we lose that way. They are so close. They're like attached at the hip.
They're one.
Luckily, there's 3 or 4 partnerships amongst friends. So they play with different people on different days. So it still makes for a good time for everybody. And it goes well outside the club. I mean, they go out for supper afterwards.
That's nice.
They'll go to movies together.
That's so nice.
They'll do all types of things together.
It is great. You know, we want to hear from you. If you have a question for Lenny or Mike about the Bridge Club, or even about what you're doing to improve your social interaction in life, please give us a call at 514-790-0800 or text us at 514-800. Love to hear from you. Now, we talked about the social interaction being good and healthy, and it's proven too from a cognitive stimulation. You know, I mean, you guys, and when you're playing the game, you're really thinking, and it is stimulating cognitively. And there's another benefit of cards in general, but specifically bridge.
It definitely makes people sharper. The ones that are really into playing. I mean, we have a woman at our club, God bless her, she's 100. And she wins.
Awesome.
Not only does she play and compete, but she wins. And it's a marvelous thing. We had 2 other women recently that were both up in the 100 mark, and they could play. They were not the dummies there. Yeah. They knew what they were doing. It's a beautiful thing to see.
No, it sounds excellent. I'm curious for you guys, Lenny and Michael, and maybe Michael, you can answer this. When you were younger, prior to retirement, when you were still working, was socialization and friendship as much, did you initiate it as much as you do now, or is this different for you now that you're in your retirement years?
Well, it's a little different now because I'm the owner of a club and I have to make sure everybody gets along well.
Okay. So you're still working, really?
I'm still working, yes. Not as hard as I used to work, but I still work at it.
It's 7 days a week. Well, it's 6 days a week now, but at one time it was 7 days a week. And like Mike gets in early, I get in about 6:30, 6:45 every morning.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no. There's things to do there.
My
There
God.
are phones to answer.
I'm like imagining like people relaxing, their retirement years. You guys are working like dogs.
I pick up the phone and there's a message there telling me there's 31 messages waiting for you.
Holy
Please
mackerel.
clean your... Yeah.
And then he goes, Mike, pick up those messages.
Yeah,
will you?"
exactly. It's your club. You pick it up.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Just real quick, you said how many seats are there?
There's 50 tables, and there's 4 people at a table. Now, it's not that way every day, but during the summertime, Mondays are usually very busy.
Saturdays.
Otherwise, it's just about 20 to 30 tables a day.
Just about 20 or 30 tables a
That's
day.
all. 6 days a week.
Oh my God, that is so much. I'm curious because you guys have been there for a long time, and you're the owner, Mike. So obviously you have lots and lots of experiences. And I know Matt and I, one of the things that we talked about wanting to know is any of those standout moments. I personally would like to hear like one of the arguments, just because I like to hear about the drama. So I definitely want to hear some of those personal stories. But first, we're going to have to take a minute and head over to the CJAD Traffic Center.
This is Life Unrehearsed with Matt DelVecchio and Stephanie Erickson.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again.
Such a feel-good song. I like that song.
Should be the Golden Guys, not the Golden Girls.
Absolutely. Did you watch that show, Matt?
Am I supposed to answer that truthfully? Because the answer is yes.
But I have to say, Betty White, she's like an amazing woman. Anyways, you're listening to Life Unrehearsed. Stephanie Erickson, social worker and family caregiving expert, here with Matt DelVecchio, who specializes in free retirement, home search, and senior transitions. And we have with us Lenny and Michael from the Shakespeare's Elbow Bridge Club in Côte St. Luc. Before we went out to traffic, I was asking you guys about some standout stories. So I'm looking for things like fights, but you already told me you're probably not going to tell those stories. So maybe some romances that developed here. But what are some of those moments where you guys felt really good about having this club and how you could really see how it enhanced somebody's life?
Well, I'm thinking of somebody that plays at our club. His son had passed away in an accident in Nepal, climbing accident, and he couldn't get over it.
Yeah.
And so his place that he came to for relief from the daily stress was Shakespeare's Elbow Bridge Club. And sure enough, you never get over the loss of a child, but it helped an awful lot. It took his mind off of his problems for at least 4 hours. And that's it.
Yeah, you use an environment like that. It helps you forget about whatever the stress is going on, but also, when you've lost a major connection, at least there are other connections, there are other links to other people. So at least emotionally, you have some people who are supporting you and caring about you.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's an emotional release. And,
yeah, absolutely.
A great story. I think that's a perfect example of what you have created here. Lenny, you must... I'm almost afraid to ask you because this is only an hour.
I have one that comes from Bridge. Dear friend of mine, also a Bridge partner of mine, who was dying of cancer. And I stopped by his home one day, and he wasn't home. I figured he's in the hospital. I went to the Montreal General. I checked, and sure enough, he was there. When I got into his room, the wife was sitting there, and he was under the heaviest sedation they could possibly give him, the oxygen. And I went over to him, and she said he's on his way out. I went over to him, and I said, Mike, if you know I'm here, squeeze my hand. He squeezed my hand. I left the room. He died a minute later.
Oh, wow. Oh, you must have had an incredible bond.
I could never forget that.
No.
Yeah. And you met this gentleman at the
playing
bridge.
bridge.
Oh, amazing.
When I first met him, he was cocky. He had the program under his arm all the time with a pipe. And I took him to a hockey game one day, and he became like my brother. He just loved every minute of it. He was a very fine bridge player. He was a brilliant man, business-wise. But they come and go, and I've lost 4 or 5 bridge partners.
Oh, boy, that's sad.
And, you bounce back, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you have to understand. It's like a flock. You got to keep the sheep going.
Yeah, this is CJD 800. Stephanie Erickson here with Matt DelVecchio. We're in studio with Lenny and Michael from the Shakespeare's Elbow Bridge Club. What you're saying, Lenny, I really like because it reminds us that it's never too late to form friendships as well. So a lot of us think back to our early childhood years. Oh, she was my best friend in 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade. But you know what? Not that you can't still be friends with those people, but a lot of friendships can be formed at every age. And so never give up hope. Put yourself out there because you can make great connections like you did with this gentleman.
Yeah, no, it's a very inspiring story, and it goes to show the power of people might hear Bridge Club. Well, no, it is much more than that. It's really a snapshot of life as well. Yeah. By the way, if you do want to call in, have a chat with Lenny or Michael, have a quick question about the Bridge Club, or what have you done to take initiatives for senior isolation and loneliness, please call us at 514-790-0800. We'd love to hear from you, or you could even text us at 514-800. Now, guys, It's 21 years in the making, but I find it very interesting that this is a labor of love. Our next segment, actually, we're going to be talking about living your dreams. And in a way, just in hearing you and seeing you and talking to you, you're living your own dreams. Would that be fair in saying that?
We're
Very
doing
fair.
what we love.
We do.
We do love it.
I stopped, I folded up my construction company. I'm an engineer by education, and I've been in construction most of my life. 20 years ago, I had an opportunity to get out, get into bridge, and live my dream, and I did it, and it worked out just fine.
And Michael, what part of that is your dream? Because you're saying living your dream. Is it that you've created this place where people can go and connect? Is that the dream, or is it the love of the game? What is it for you?
I love the game. I love the connection that I make with people. It's a lot of fun. It's much better than hearing complaints about toilets don't flush. It's at all hours. But I find it no problem to go to work early in the morning and stay late at night. It's really fulfilling. I find the people terrific to interact with. And hopefully they're enjoying themselves also when they're at my place.
You were just saying, I mean, you're in at 6, 7 in the morning, guys, right? And not even at 4. Amazing.
There's no fooling around there. I mean, we had some competition that tried to open up bridge clubs, and they thought they could come in at 11 o'clock in the morning and everything was going to be great. It doesn't work that way. If you're in the business, you got to be there. You have to say hello to the people when they call and make sure that you're available for them. And that's basically what it's all about.
The other thing that's really nice, I mean, there's so many points that I'm loving about this, but Lenny and Mike, you guys are Michael, sorry, I said Mike. Is it Michael or Mike? Anyways,
whichever you
Mike,
want to call
the guy
me.
next to me, the handsome guy next to me. What I also love about what you're saying is that it kind of is giving, it has given you both a routine. And I think when you're, used to the business world, and it's a very big transition to retire. We had someone in here talking about retirement, and it's like we have it wrong here where we're working full-time like dogs one day and then the next day we do nothing, and it's really hard, that transition. But this club has enabled a lot of people as well to really put some routine in their day, which also helps with mental health and cognitive health and all of that.
Yeah, definitely. We have some people that play 5 days a week, 6 days a week.
Wow,
incredible. Speaking of that, let's get into some of the logistics. If first of all, is it a membership? What do I do?
No membership.
A typical day. What do we do if I want to?
No membership. It's open to anybody, and you come with a partner. And if you want to play and you don't have a partner, you call in and we put you down on a list. And if we have other people calling in looking, we make marriages. We do. And we do a lot of that. So people don't have to be ashamed. I mean, they can call anytime they want, and there's someone there to look after it, either Mike or I. But we do match up people.
That's great. And when people show up, so let's say, hypothetically, I call, I say I want to join. First of all, could I join at 47? Is there an age?
There's no joining.
Oh.
It's open to anybody.
Any age.
You're a member
any age.
right away.
So I could, like right now I'm a member.
You're a member.
Awesome.
There you
Look
go.
at that.
You're
okay.
in.
So hypothetically, I call you, I say, I need a partner. Do I have to know about bridge? Do I have to understand the game? Or is someone going to teach me? I should already.
You should. You
this
have
is
to
no
know.
beginners aren't
There
gonna
is
mess around
beginners.
here.
We have we have a plan like Tuesdays and Thursdays in the mornings. There's someone teaching people.
Okay, so Matt, that's when
good.
we're going. You want to be partners?
All right, yeah, that could be very dangerous too.
Yeah, but 6 a.m., I'm already getting up at 6
There you
a.m.
are.
with the puppy.
There you
I
are.
don't think I then want to also do bridge. It sounds tiring for me. It's a long day.
But it's a wonderful thing, and like you say, the arguments usually happen within the partnerships. But I
That's right.
think also you were saying even after the bridge. And by the way, just for clarification, it costs how much, and it includes lunch, I think.
It costs $14 a session. It includes a light lunch, some tuna fish salad, some egg salad.
Tofu and cottage cheese and bagels and there's enough there.
And a session, $14 for a session. That's the full 4 hours, you mean?
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
All right, we got to go.
That's with lunch.
Wow.
Lunch included. There's a good deal.
Yeah.
And even afterwards, you're saying people leave the social club, the bridge club, and they're socializing afterwards even, right?
Definitely.
They all get, we turn out sheets of the game, like with the scores and
The results.
the layout, the recaps. They love that. They pick it. We prepare it for them, and they go through all the hands that they botched and did
my
whatever.
God.
No.
This is like a real science here.
Yeah, they have a good time.
And lastly, the location again, just to repeat.
Is the fourth floor of Cavendish Mall in Côte St. Luc. We're Suite 420. Our phone number
We're right
is,
opposite the elevator.
Yeah,
Okay.
Our phone number is 514-489-0234. And we have a website. Our email address is shakespeareselbow@videotron.ca. And you can email us. You can call us. It's
And you're already
great.
a member.
And you're already a member.
Excellent.
And Michael,
Doesn't
at
cost.
72, I think it is, right? You're the technical guru of the group here, right?
Oh,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah, I understand. And Lenny, a man is allowed to ask how old you are.
I love being 85.
Excellent.
And we'll
Excellent.
keep it at that. Well, really great.
Oh, nice.
Hats off to you. You've done a
Yeah.
heck of a job here and built this to Canada's largest bridge club. You guys should be very proud. You wear it on your heart, and so thank you very much for joining us on Life Unrehearsed.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much
Yeah, it's really
for
nice.
having us.
Oh, it's our pleasure. It's our pleasure.
Our pleasure is right. Coming up now, we're going to be discussing a segment on living your dreams with Stephanie and myself.
Special
We
guest.
also have a special guest and a very big announcement.
Yep.
And this will all be coming up after the news. And let's head over to the CJAD News with Luciano.
You're listening to Life Unrehearsed with Matt DelVecchio and Stephanie Erickson, tackling the topics that life throws in your way.
Yeah, running down a dream that never would come to me. Working on a mystery.
Welcome back. You're listening to Life Unrehearsed. I'm Stephanie Erickson, social worker and family caregiving expert, here with Matt DelVecchio, who specializes in senior transitions and relocation. Oh my gosh, it's so sad to hear that Tom Petty song.
A little tribute to him. Why
I
not?
know.
He deserves it.
And we're going to be talking about living a dream. Here he was, he stopped working so that he could spend time with his family, and then that happens to him. It makes me really sad.
Yeah, he was one of the best.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to be talking about living a dream. And Matt, I know you know a lot about this because you left the corporate world to live your dreams. So that was pretty risky for you, huh?
Yeah, it was, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that because this is what this segment is, and I think as we age and we go through could be a corporate world, could be in the professional world. Sometimes I think everyone has that thought, oh, geez, I wonder if I could start something on my own or do something on my own. And we always tend to hesitate and make up excuses. And because it is a big life decision. So I was fortunate to do that. And Stephanie, I know you're in the midst of living your dream right now. And why don't you let us in on it?
Dreams in many ways. And I like the point that you mentioned about we always hesitate. And that's what I've always done in my life is only in the last 2 or 3 years have I felt that I've taken more risks. I mean, I guess I can say I was born in California, moved to Montreal. That was pretty risky, but it wasn't in a lot of ways. But yeah, now I'm taking a huge leap. I've decided to let go of the Life Unrehearsed show. Matt, of course, you're still here. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to tell you.
This is a surprise.
Of course, Matt will still be here, and we have Corey in studio. We're going to talk about her a bit. She's going to be taking over for me. Very, very tough decision. Took me a long time, many weeks of mulling it over, but I really want to focus on my production company. This Matters to Me with my partner Chris Wynn. My heart is fully in that, and I decided to put all of my energy in that as well. But it's sad because I love CJAD and I love the show and I like being a host here, but I want to be in front of the camera. This is not in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Although Facebook Live.
No, but good for you. I'm sure it must have been a very, very difficult decision.
Yeah.
You're torn. You're still torn probably today.
Yeah.
But with that, you need to take risks. And I really take my hat off to you, Stephanie, because this is a big move for you. And you're going for it. And you can't stop anyone from trying to live their dream. So maybe give a couple more details about what you're going to be doing.
Okay, so This Matters to Me is a company that I started with Chris Wynn, who is a documentary filmmaker, and we do videos for businesses, helping them tell their story. And I do love that piece, and it's definitely something we're going to continue to do. But what we've also done is created our own show called This Matters to Me Live. Some of it's live, some of it are pre-produced segments. But what we're doing is we're finding people who have compelling stories, real human interest stories, things that they've struggled with, things that they've managed, surpassed. And it kind of started with my own story of anxiety and what I've done to combat that and live fully with that. And so we're finding other people in the community who have similar stories and interviewing them and putting together pieces about them and then sharing it.
Good for you. Like you say, you'll be more of an on camera.
Yeah.
So, okay, we've got Oprah and Ellen at the top end,
Yeah.
right? And now you're at the ground level and somewhere in between.
Excuse me, Matt, it's Oprah, Ellen, Stephanie,
There you go.
Wendy Williams, like, no. Yeah. No, I mean, you know what? It would be great to be at the level of Ellen, but as I've always wanted to do is to help people. And I just want to help people in a different way than I was in the past. I want to inspire people and tell different types of stories.
You're listening to Life Unrehearsed, and this truly is a Life Unrehearsed topic. I'm Matt DelVecchio here with Stephanie Erickson. This segment, we're talking about living our dreams. Stephanie just announced that she will be leaving Life Unrehearsed, and we will be announcing the new co-host coming up in the second half of this segment. And you mentioned something, Stephanie, very important about wanting to help others. This is your social worker, and this is in your blood. And I think that's a big part of the reason why I made the move. I was approaching 50 and in the corporate world, and sometimes there are trigger events. And, you might get laid off or you're in your 50s and something happened. In this case, that wasn't a trigger event. This was something that I've always wanted to start my own company, wanted to do. My boss, the owner, Maddie Chinks, the owner of Avmore, treated me tremendously. And whenever I had kids events or whatever, it wasn't like, don't go. It was the opposite, go,
Right.
But you still, with the corporation, and I always wanted to start my own company. And why I chose and what I do is we help moms and dads and adult children when it comes time to find retirement homes and help them with the whole transition. It's a free service for families, and I saw my dad go through it with his parents, and my buddies now who have some older parents are going through this, and I say there's just got to be a better way, and this is how Lianas Services started, and it has been so gratifying. I mean, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of it, because it does come with a lot of sleepless nights and a little bit of stress and a lot of stress sometimes and anxiety, and you got to be prepared to jump in the deep end and deep. Are you prepared for the savings account to be gone and then dig into the TFSAs to be gone?
Yeah, exactly. And I think when you're talking about a trigger event, Matt, what I find interesting is that for you, and I wasn't aware that there wasn't like a trigger event. I knew that you were passionate about helping seniors, and so I thought it was your passion that was leading you, but I also thought there must be some event, and I had never asked you that question. But for me, there's no trigger event either. I love Life Unrehearsed. I love hosting with you. I like doing this show. And so that's what made it so hard, is when you really love something, you actually think you're good at it, although maybe others would disagree, but I think I'm pretty good at this job as well. And it was really hard to make a decision to leave something that's serving you really well in the hopes that you're going to get what ultimately you love.
And I think that's the point, because many, many people I'm sure are going through this. A lot of our advisors at Lianas are usually, and these are the people that go around with families. I'm in Montreal and Ottawa, Toronto, Vancouver, and our advisors are usually women in their 50s or 60s who've been in the corporate life, worked with seniors, and they're semi-retired, but you know what? My husband's driving me nuts all day. I want to keep busy. I want to be my own boss. And so they're fed up with the corporate world, but they still want to keep busy. And I think a lot of people are in that boat. And it's just a matter of, I'd like to ask you, because there's that fear, you have to take that leap. And that's the tough part. And so how did you deal with some of those fears, you figure?
My kids are rolling their eyes because it all goes back to the flying trapeze. They're like, oh God, here we go again, another flying trapeze analogy. But truthfully, the last 3 years doing that sport, doing the flying trapeze, and showing myself time and time again that no matter how afraid I am, I always manage to survive. I always manage to not only survive, but actually surpass any of the expectations that I may have had. So that experience I've been able over the years to just translate into my everyday life and say, you know what? I know that I can do it. And if for some reason things don't work out with This Matters to Me Live, then there's something else in my path that's where I'm meant to go. So I think I'm just starting to feel more confident with myself, and it's from continually putting myself in uncomfortable situations and then achieving something, and then it's like, okay, put that in my back pocket. Yes, I can.
I think that's a huge point. And you're listening to Life Unrehearsed. That was Stephanie Erickson. I'm Matt DelVecchio, and we're talking about living your dreams and how to actually take that leap. And Stephanie, you talked about, eventually it's, okay, do I do it or not? And you got to go for it. You talked about children rolling your eyes, but at the end of the day also, I think family plays a crucial role in this. One, you need the support of family.
Absolutely.
You just can't do this on your own. We've had our family and my wife, and because it's going to be a lot of hours, it takes a lot of time. You need that support for sure. But for me, it was also work-life balance. I don't mind doing the hours and putting it in, but when I've got to pick up my daughter now for whatever reason, or my son, that guilt isn't there as often. And so that's been a big part of work-life balance and decision I made. So what we're going to do here, Stephanie, now is just after traffic, we're going to be officially introducing Corey Sirota as our new
torch.
Co-host.
We're doing a relay. A relay.
Okay.
Relay.
Pass the baton.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's head to the CJD Traffic Center first, and we'll talk to Corey after that.
This is Life Unrehearsed with Matt DelVecchio and Stephanie Erickson.
I'll save you all from singing that high note.
The head is bobbing.
Exactly. You're listening to CJAD 800 Life Unrehearsed. Stephanie Erickson here with Matt DelVecchio. And I've just announced that I'm going to be stepping away from hosting the Life Unrehearsed show to pursue on a full-time basis my video production company with my partner Chris Wynn called This Matters to Me. So I say that with a heavy heart, but I'm also very excited because the person that is coming to replace me is an amazing woman. Matt, I'll let you do the honors.
Yeah, in fact, Corey has been on the show a couple of times, a very charismatic person. And Corey, I'd like to officially welcome you now as the co-host of Life Unrehearsed, and congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. To say I'm excited would be an understatement.
Yeah.
Well, great. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself personally and what you do on your day-to-day?
Sure. How long do we have? So I am a clinical social worker and psychotherapist. I specialize in grief and loss. I teach at the McGill School of Social Work. I published a book. I facilitate groups, and I am the clinical director of Camp Erin, a bereavement camp for children.
And you breathe also?
Yeah. And then personally, I have a wonderful husband named Andy and two fantastic young adult daughters, Ashley and Justine.
Yeah. And what's really special about this for me is that Corey has been a good friend of mine for a very long time. I moved here in 2003, and she was the first friend that I made. I started working at Jewish Family Services. Corey was there. I moved into town, I think, just about 3 months before the Jewish holidays, and I didn't know anybody, and you invited me to your house, and we didn't even really know each other. And so I really love you so much, and I'm so happy for you, Corey. And on another note, she's really, really, really funny. So all of you are in for a treat. No pressure, but she's very funny.
No, we're blessed, and I'm so pleased to have you as a co-host, Corey. You were just listening in on the Living the Dreams section, and you were saying this is also living your dream, is it?
Without a doubt, this is, for me, all I have ever wanted to do is make a difference. Steph said you want to help people. I want to help people. I've always known this. And for me, making a difference and helping is really about teaching. And you heard my laundry list of things that I do. Teaching comes in many, many different ways, shapes, and form. So for me, the opportunity to come now and have a global, larger place to share some insights, to educate people, to offer support, if that is not living your dream, you tell me what is.
Yeah. And what I love about it is that we both want to help people, Corey, but there's so many ways to do it. And so I think you just have to find what resonates for you, find what is that makes you the most happy, and then find a way to do that in whatever avenue that is,
Absolutely. Yeah. And Corey, you do have a lot of those avenues. You're teaching at McGill and your own practice, and maybe this is just another soapbox for you.
Oh, great! Now her husband's like, "Oh God, here we go, another soapbox." Yeah. Matt, I'd like to say a few things to you. Can I do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so it's been okay getting to know you. I really I appreciate so much being here with you, Matt. This was your initial concept for the show, and you asked me to join you, and then we've been partners along the way, 50-50 the entire time, and it's been such a pleasure to get to know you, to get to know your daughter. I've met your wife, still have not met your son. But it's been a real pleasure, and I want to thank you so much, and I wish you guys the best of luck. I also want to say thank you to Matthew Wood, and with those Kleenexes that he gave us when he was first giving us our reviews of when we first went live, and also to Chris Burry as well for believing in me and allowing me to have this opportunity.
Yeah, they did help us out. We're 6 months into it, and we've learned a lot along the way, and we're still learning.
Absolutely.
Very proud to claim that we have the number one rated show during our time bracket, and we want to keep that going.
Corey, no pressure.
No pressure at all. No pressure at all. Is right.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Well, Stephanie, really, I want to wish you all the best and much success. You really deserve it, and I mean that genuinely.
I know you do.
It's been a real pleasure working with you. You're just a compassionate, energetic person, a work ethic that I've never seen in anyone before. You work incredibly hard. You're extremely professional, creative, and you're a joy to be with, and I'm going to miss that laugh. It's a real pleasure. I only wish you the best, and in a way we had talked about at the opening, this is bittersweet.
For sure.
I think we've really developed some rapport, and you're moving on, hopefully to bigger and better things. And bittersweet by also you've opened the door for someone else now.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
And Corey, I think this is a tremendous opportunity for you. I'm so happy that you're
Corey.
part of Life Unrehearsed. Again, just in the discussions we've had off air over the last couple of weeks, it's amazing the ideas and creativity and your
she's
network
amazing.
and because we take pride. I think, Stephanie, we take a
Absolutely.
lot of pride in the content we try to bring to the table week in and week out.
Yep.
We want to educate, we want to inspire, and we want to have spectacular guests wherever we can. You know?
And I really believe wholeheartedly, Corey, that you are going to offer so much to this show. And I love you so much, and I'm so happy for you. Matt, love you too. And you said we have a nice rapport. I think we have a friendship. Hello.
Friendship,
What do you mean, a
right.
rapport? Oh, okay. So, but thank you again so much, Matt, and thank you to CJD.
No, thank you. And I feel like a group hug now or something.
Yeah,
right?
Some tissues.
Talking about great guests, next week we're very, very proud. We've got an excellent lineup. We have Dr. Dworkin, who will be talking to us. He's a specialist on medical marijuana. It will be very, very interesting to talk about
Bringing
this.
in samples?
We'll find out. We'll see. It might make it for an even more interesting show.
That's right.
And we're really
what I
proud to
rehearsed.
have Teresa Deller. Teresa is the executive director and co-founder of West Island Palliative Care Residence and recent recipient of the Order of Canada. She will be live in studio with us. We're so blessed to have her. And so, again, Stephanie, best of luck.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, everyone, for listening
Good
to
luck.
Life Unrehearsed. You can catch us live every Sunday at 4 o'clock. Happy Thanksgiving. Eat lots and lots and lots. Be a glutton. You could walk it off tomorrow. News shortly.